It's
All right, what's up, guys? PWF is back with the epic live stream panel. You guys have been asking for it. It took me a while to put this one together, but we are here. All right, we got a pretty crazy lineup. Ross Jeffries, he's been on this channel quite a few times. He's one of the OGs from the book of the game. If you haven't, check out the interview I did with him. Vegan Gains. He hasn't been on the channel in a while, but we did do I think, one or two friendly debates back in the day. He has a channel where he does a lot of debating. He's probably most formally known, at least in my opinion, as the guy that called in to debate Myron and had a really funny, I guess, owning moment. All right, Jazmen, she's been on the channel a bazillion times. Let's all welcome her back. Grace Thorp, what's going on, Grace? The woman that needs no introduction. And LavLune, where she goes by her username, Femmoid. Every single one of these people have been on this channel before. Some of them for one-on-one debates and some of them for panels. So everyone here is recurring guest. Michael Sartain will be coming in about 15 minutes from now. So this is going to be, there's not going to be any teams. It's going to be a free-forming debate panel. There's going to be too many topics. They'll both go for about 45 minutes to 55 minutes, depending on how it goes. The first topic is very simple. Is pickup sleazy? That's going to be a juicy one. I'm going to be staying out of it since I'm the moderator, but yeah, that's the first one. Is pickup sleazy? The second one is going to be, I'm going to have to read this verbatim so I can get a quote. Is it a good idea for men to level up? If men are forced, should they get with other female force and not try to level up to higher women? Because Grace thinks it's ridiculous. So if you're a four, you better keep fucking those fours. So that's going to be the second mini topic. All right, so I kind of told the rules to everyone backstage. I'm going to be jumping in if some person can't get a word in, someone's ducking a question. Other than that, I'm a fairly hands-off moderator unless I think I have something interesting to add. Kind of just go with the flow. So why don't we'll do a quick opening statement since I think a lot of you guys are not familiar with what the other person thinks. That's going to be a good way to start. I'm not going to time these, but I think about a minute and a half or whatever. Anything under that is good. So again, first debate topic, and we can just go from the top to top left, is pickup sleazy. So Ross, kick it off.
Thank you. I'm not here to defend pickup. I'm here to advocate for speed seduction, which is radically different from what everybody else does. And essentially, it's about teaching guys how to have emotional intelligence and then how to use their language to evoke states of emotion that women want to experience: connection, fascination, desire, etc., etc. I don't think there's anything sleazy about it teaching a man to have better communication skills, teaching them to have the kind of communication where women enjoy it. The best testimonial I ever got was from a ex-girlfriend of one of my students who reached out to me and said, can you introduce me to some of your other students? Because that was the best experience I've ever had. So I am only advocating for what I do. I'm not advocating for negs. I'm not advocating for demonstrating higher value. I'm not advocating for pressing down on a woman's pain points. I'm talking about capturing and leading the imagination with your vibe and with your language. So that, to me, not only isn't sleazy, that is admirable. That is something to advocate for.
All right, vegan.
All right, so is pickup sleazy? I think there are ways that women want to be approached, want to be talked to. I think men who have poor social skills, who might be kind of autistic or stupid, or maybe don't have a lot of social experience, can benefit from some courses on things like pickup artistry, cold approaching, things like that. So all knowledge is power. I think what you do with that power really determines whether or not something is immoral or sleazy. I think guys who try to manipulate women into thinking that they are something they're not, or leading them on into thinking that they want, say, a long-term relationship when what they really want is like a quick hookup, I think that's sleazy. But the idea that coaching men into understanding female psychology, social psychology, female nature, what women generally like to talk about, how they like to be talked to, I don't think there's anything sleazy about that. I think how you use that knowledge may or may not be sleazy.
Oh, interesting. You actually said largely what I would have said if I was to answer this question. I did not expect that. All right, laugh.
I completely agree with Vegan Gains. Like, couldn't have said it better. So.
All right, Grace.
I disagree with Ross and Vegan Gains because I don't think you can teach somebody social skills. So I think pickup is an attempt to sort of give men a sales pitch to women, which I think is antisocial. I think pickup artists are like a menace to society. I think it's incredibly antisocial. And you can't teach social skills. Like, guys have to learn that on
Why
their
not?
own. You can't teach it.
Wait, hang on, Ross. Opening statement. This is just
It's my
everyone.
opening statement, sir. Let me finish, please. Um, and yeah, so I think instead of like learning social skills through the regular way by getting bullied by other people until you stop being autistic, pickup artistry is an attempt to get around that and to say, like, here's a sales pitch. You can sell yourself to a woman, and only the sleaziest whores bite on it, but it can get you a whore. And I do think it's sleazy overall.
All right, Jazmen.
I actually do largely agree with vegan gains. I think it's all about how it's implemented. I think largely the pickup artist world is very manipulative. I've never dove into what Ross teaches, but like the negging and like looking at women as like some prey you're conquering, very like promoting this like fast life strategy and like just trying to get as many women as possible. I don't even think that's conducive to the well-being of men or the women that they are picking up. So yeah, I would largely agree with what Vegan Dave said.
What's up, Michael? You came at the perfect time. You literally are going to be the last opening statement. So 2 mini topics. The first mini topic we're talking about is pickup sleazy. Yeah, go ahead and give your thoughts on that.
I don't know that it's sleazy. I just think it's inefficient. I think what's happened is, I used to go out, like I said, with Mystery and Matador and all those guys. I was friends with Neil Strauss. I met him like in 2012. We've been out before. And I think probably there's this thing before, let's say, the advent of the sexual revolution, there wasn't a lot of going out to bars and then picking up girls. It was still a thing that happened, but not nearly to the prevalence that it happened in like the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I think once we got from that point in time up to like, say, 2011, when Instagram took off, there was this like pickup, like going out to a bar, meeting a girl was a prevalent part of the culture. And I think when social media happened, what happened was that a lot of really pretty girls were able to get their validation through Instagram, Facebook, able to get their validation even through OnlyFans. And you started seeing fewer and fewer of them go out. And so I don't think of pickup necessarily as being sleazy, especially not the early iterations of it. I look at it as being inefficient. I think what's happened is male-female dynamics had a software update and they just didn't get the update. And so what I think is pickup's current iteration is becoming sleazier because they go a little bit more direct. And also they don't really take into account like the woman's point of view whenever they do go direct. And so from that standpoint, I can see your point, but I don't think in general it's sleazy. Like, I don't think like Owen Cook is sleazy. I mean, there are other ways of describing him. I don't think he's sleazy. I think that doesn't work. I do think some of the guys who go hyper direct, I do think come off as a little bit sleazy. But in general, I just think it's less efficient. I think there are better ways to meet women.
All right, before we open the panel, Michael, can you turn down your gain a little bit? It's a little raspy and over powerful.
How about now? Is that better?
Yeah, I think so. Say something else.
Is that better right there?
Yeah, that's better. Perfect. All right, open panel. Kick it off. Whoever wants to start first,
I have to just jump on this ridiculous notion that social skills cannot be taught. First of all, children are taught social skills. Otherwise, they would never play together properly on the playground. Their behavior has to be corrected. They have to be taught how to behave.
Social skills are only taught.
I could.
There's no way to get social skills without being taught.
Yeah, but it's not like a curriculum. It's from life experience.
If I could.
Sorry.
Your statement was social skills cannot be taught. I'm saying that's demonstrably untrue, that social skills are taught to children. That's how we get started being able to move through the world with other people. We are taught by authority figures. We are taught by parents. That ability doesn't go away. There's nothing about social skills that is against the laws of physics. And the other thing I'll say, and this underlies everything I'm going to say tonight, my favorite quote is by the writer Arthur C. Clarke, who invented the communication satellite. Arthur C. Clarke said, any sufficiently developed technology is indistinguishable from magic. So there is technology that to people on the outside would appear to be impossible. But if you know how it works, you can teach some remarkable things to people, and those people can have a remarkable amount of influence in all sorts of spheres. So I think what you said is just laughably, demonstrably untrue.
Yeah, but you're using a very broad definition of taught. They're taught organically by life experience and other people. There's no such class in school as social skills. It's not a curriculum. And courses and coaches and pickup artists are attempting to format teaching men social skills into a curriculum. That's what I'm saying you can't do. You can't do that.
Well,
that's demonstrably
Could
untrue.
you qualify that with evidence? Well, sorry. She's the one claiming that you can't teach social skills in, say, like a curriculum setting. Could you qualify that with evidence? If you have an autistic friend who stands too close to people when they're talking and leaves his mouth open, you could say, okay, dude, you're standing too close, you're kind of freaking people out, and you have to close your mouth. I don't understand how you can't just tell somebody that this is kind of an improper way to act around people and then they can change their behavior. Do you have any evidence that social skills cannot be taught in such a fashion?
Also, I'm pretty sure I took a social skills class in high school with my homeroom. I'm pretty sure that we actually were.
I think you mean social studies, not social skills. There's no such class as social skills.
No, I'm talking about social skills.
There are classes on social skills. Yeah, for sure. There's
not in high school.
Of books on social skills.
I had a high school class of social skills.
You had a high school
by the way,
social skills.
Yes, it was.
By the way, there are elective courses that you can take that do directly look at things like social etiquette.
Yes.
So that's not true. There are high school and even college level classes.
Cotillion's been around since medieval
Cotillion's
time.
a great example. Yes, that's a great example. Hey, Grace, I have a question for you.
What that is.
Grace, if I had a guy and on a regular basis, what would I say wrong? Is her name not Grace? I'm sorry.
No. She said I haven't heard of Cotillion, and then lit up a cigarette with like a lighter. It was just funny.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
It was based. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Michael.
All right. Grace, let me ask you a question. If I had a guy and I was like, hey man, in order for you to get better at being around women, let's put you in situations around more women. Would that possibly garner him better social skills?
I mean, it could. I'm not saying you can't I'm not saying you can't help somebody. I'm just saying the idea that there is a format you can. Of course, you can help somebody get to know.
But what if my curriculum? What if part of what if part of the curriculum that say Ross or I had or vegan? What if part of our curriculum was to go out on a regular basis, literally a written down curriculum, go on a regular basis and approach 50 people a day? Would that help their social skills? That could be in a curriculum, right?
I mean, it could be, but it may or may not help because that's a very inorganic way to meet people, just approaching random people. It's kind of autistic.
No, hold on. This is really funny. Alex, you should click this.
It's autistic to go up to people?
Just to meet random people and be like, hey, my name's Bob. That's weird.
By the way,
one at a time.
Time out. Ross, the reason why you're laughing, this is so funny because this is so meta. Ross and I are from a generation where the only way you would meet people is by going up and talking to them. Grace is from a generation where her physical attractiveness and her appearance on different platforms allowed people to come meet her. And so the idea of going up and talking to a stranger, by the way, there's a survey of people, I don't know how old you are, Grace, but a younger group of people,
21.
Okay, so perfect. And it said it was a younger group of people that men walking up to women, 17% of them thought that constituted, just walking up there to them and talking to them, that constituted sexual harassment.
No, I agree. People overplay that stuff. What I'm saying though is pickup is different. What I'm saying organic is your friends, your family, your workplace, the environment, the people
what
you're
you're
around,
saying
groups,
shows that you have a lack of social skills. You are showing to everyone that you are the one with a lack of social skills. This is something that you mostly see from
this whole
women.
Panel. I have amazing.
Well, wait. This is something that you mostly see with young women, by the way, who don't actually need to develop social skills, and people will kind of just naturally want to talk to them. No, it isn't. You think it's inorganic to just go up to somebody that you want to talk to. That's just normal human behavior. There are people that you might just want to come up to, strike a conversation with. You might think they sound interesting. They have something, they look pretty. Maybe they're doing something that you want to talk about. That's kind of normal human behavior to want to go up and talk to somebody. And then you're telling us that, that's kind of weird and awkward to actually go up to somebody and talk to somebody you don't know. It's not weird and awkward. It's weird and awkward for you because you lack social skills.
I want to make a distinction. I would like
That's
to
not
make
what I
this.
was saying.
I would
Saying
like to make
introducing yourself to 50 people at once as a way to learn social skills highly depends on the person.
Well,
It's very difficult to teach
even
I would like to make
social
the
skills to each person individually. I mean, everybody has a different set of social skills. Some people are funny, some people are quiet, some people are shy, some people are outgoing. You can't really
Some people are just pretty.
curricularize it.
Grace, like even
Let
like
Grandpa speak.
That's all I'm saying.
Let Grandpa speak, please, if I could. Listen, the idea, first of all, I don't know what the fuck you mean by organic. I think what you mean is something that people are used to doing. Look, in neurolinguistic programming, which is what I study, there's what we call conscious incompetence, conscious competence. What's going on with people who you would call inorganic is they're not even aware that they're incompetent at the skill. You can make people consciously competent at virtually any skill if you have a good model of someone who's good at it and you have the techniques to model it for those people who want to learn it. Oftentimes people say, well, it's not organic. What that really means is they don't know how to do it yet. And rather than step outside their habitual behavior and their comfort zone, they fall back on excuses like, it's just not me, or it's not organic. And I'm saying people need to be stretched and they can step into skill sets that they may not have had any clue about. It can be taught. Let me give you another example, not related to seduction. I have a nephew who's on the spectrum. He had to be taught social skills and he learned them. He knows how to give an imitation of eye contact. He cannot look people in the eyes, but he went through a training that teaches him how to look here. So
wait, but can I just say, when you say he was taught, he's just mimicking a program you gave him. He doesn't have authentic social skills like normal people do.
Well, first of all, I didn't teach him. He went through something called ABT, Applied Behavioral Therapy.
Mm-hmm.
But after a period of time, it becomes who he is. He knows how to do it without even having to think about it. So the distinction about whether it's organic or not, to me, is almost meaningless. It really comes down to, are they competent at it without having to think about it? That's what I'm talking about. Unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, and then eventually unconscious competence. These are distinctions. I'm not making fun of you or putting you down. You've never heard of it.
I don't think you are.
Maybe you've heard of them. I don't know.
Let's let Jazmen also weigh in. She hasn't said a word so far.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, of course, social skills and social skills in different contexts are taught too. Like when we went to law school, like when I was in law school, they literally would hold seminars, like literally giving the same advice that Michael was saying, like you're supposed to go to these networking events, go up, introduce yourself to these people, go introduce yourself to as many people as possible. In this setting, it's a little more professional. So you want to act more like this. They teach you all these things and then you learn how to behave, how to be socially inept in different environments. So
yeah, I'm sure that's true. But I'm just saying social skills can't be like refined into a technique. It's different for every person. You can't teach somebody how to be charming. You either have it or you don't.
You can. Grace. Hold on, Grace. Just bear with me for a second. I'm not trying to pick a fight with you. Just imagine you're 21 and then there's other experiences that other people have had. Or in a case where a guy may have been awkward in his early 20s, and through experience of being an attorney, a public speaker, or other things like that, he can become charismatic. But you can, if you want to, put those things into a curriculum. You can. And I've done it. I have a curriculum. It's 114 modules long.
I think it ends up the way I
charisma.
think it ends up the way Ross was describing it, where like his autistic nephew or on the spectrum nephew, he was like, he can mimic what people do in social situations, but it's not at his core.
Not every man is autistic though. Like there are a lot of men who, like the majority of men who get involved, even in pickup or any kind of self-help, aren't autistic. Even leadership studies are something that you can teach people. I was a military officer for 7 years. Like for my ability to lead a group of men from the beginning when I was a second lieutenant to when I left as a captain is totally different. This is part of the human experience, is garnering information, getting a feedback loop, learning, getting experience, and then just getting better. And I'm not saying, like, I understand why you feel the way you do, but you do have to.
I agree.
Internally looking and say, I'm 21 years old and I'm telling older people that they cannot learn how to be charismatic. Do you not see the irony there?
Well, by the way, just to help Grace maybe formulate her argument, I think what she's trying to express is that there's a difference between learning something and becoming proficient at something. Some things can be learned, but actually developing the skills to practically apply those learned things, those are two different things. So knowing something is different from actually having the skill and experience to,
That's
apply
true.
that knowledge.
That's true,
But,
but it also depends on the quality of the teacher.
Yeah,
Great.
that does have to do with the quality of the teacher, but that doesn't mean you can't learn these social skills. You can't be taught them.
I'll give you a hint. Grace. A number one here, anyone can learn this. One of the distinctions between people who have social skills and those who don't. So the people who don't are yakking away to themselves with their internal dialogue. They're so caught up in their internal dialogue, they can't. It's not that they can't read other people's cues. It's that there's only so much real estate and consciousness, and they're yakking away. So if I can teach someone to quiet down their internal dialogue, they're halfway home right there. And there are plenty of
Grace, do you think that
Wait, hang on a second. Can I just say,
if all else equal, 2 people, do you think the person who sits at home and just doesn't go out, doesn't socialize, versus like a person who's like, okay, maybe I'm a little awkward, I'm going to put myself in these situations, I'm going to join clubs, I'm going to go to my rock climbing gym and try to introduce myself to people, in a year, do you think those people are still going to be at the same level socially, or do you think the one who puts themselves in those experience learning environments is going to improve?
I just got
arguments that you can't do it in the curriculum.
Life experience. I'm not trolling. Oh, they're trying to warn you about me. You can handle me, Grandpa. Come on.
I love that. Thank you, Abuelo. It's Mr. Grandpa to you, whippersnapper.
I'm saying yes, life experience helps it. I'm just saying everybody's social skills are different, and you can't turn it into a technique. Like people who teach people how to have sex, it doesn't work like that. You learn it through experience. You can't be taught techniques on how to have good sex.
I mean, you can be taught techniques on how to not have good sex.
I just want to say to Vegan Gains, if he wants to talk to me about social skills, dude, maybe take off the sunglasses. You can't even make eye contact with a panel on the internet. Okay, take off the sunglasses. You're wearing sunglasses inside. You're wearing sunglasses inside.
I'm wearing sunglasses inside because my computer screen is very bright, and I've been in front of my screen for almost 6 hours now.
Does it hurt your eyeballs? Does it hurt your
eyes? Let's steer this a different way.
This is incredible social skills that Grace is showing here. Grace, Grace, here's
an
idea.
I don't know why she's lashing out at me. I haven't been rude to her or anything. You're
Grace,
you're showing your lack of
Can I give another example?
You're being condescending.
Can I give another?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Can I give another example, Grace? That's a super basic, very basic thing that you might learn in social skills. You might read this in How to Win Friends and Influence People, which is a book trying to teach people social skills. You might learn this in Think and Grow Rich. These are different places where you might hear this one piece of advice. There's some people who will come into conversations and they talk. But in the beginning, maybe they learn to be a better listener. Right. But if you learn to be a better listener in the beginning, do you see how that's a very, I can write that down. Learn to be a better listener. Let the other person talk more. That's a very, very important skill as far as social interactions, but it doesn't require very complex, instruction. It's just, hey, man, when you talk to people, let them talk more. When I tell guys when they go on dates, I'm like, hey, when you're on a date, the girl should be talking more than you. That's very simple. That is something I can teach someone, that a social skill that I can teach them that they can learn immediately. So there are pieces that you can put in a curriculum to help people. Does that make sense? Grace, do you understand?
Yeah, I get that.
Do you understand, Grace, do you understand that I'm not saying you don't have social skills, but do you understand being a prettier 21-year-old girl, do you understand that you might not need social skills as much as I do?
Or me.
You're very good looking, Michael. Don't say that. Don't tell yourself short.
But people, let's say people. But do you understand that people might not accept us as men? They're not going to accept us to the same level as, even if you didn't have great social skills, there's still going to be a group of people, especially men, who are still going to accept you, even if you don't have great social skills. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I mean, I kind of think I get what you're saying. Like, let girls get life on easy mode or whatever. I kind of think that's
no. I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's easy mode. Okay. What do you mean? There's certain skill sets that you meet. Like I had two squadron commanders that were female. They needed a skill set of leadership. They needed, but I also know some girls that don't need it as much, or rather, they can fit in certain places. You know, it's like women don't have to do quite as much to fit in when they're popular, when they're pretty to be popular in certain arenas as men do, whereas we have to fight more. Our points of leverage had to do more with our personality. That's all I'm saying. It's like Jazmen did not have to go get a law degree, right? She didn't have to. She went above and beyond. Jazmen's pretty enough to where people would have still been super fucking cool with her, even if she didn't have all this other stuff going for her. Do you understand what I'm saying? The burden is not quite the same.
I think being gorgeous, like me and Jasmine and Lav, all the girls on here are gorgeous. I think it has its ups and downs. People also hate you and hate on you and are envious. You have to develop a thick skin to deal with all the losers
or if you're
who hate
dating
on
someone
you.
who's really pretty. Yes.
Yeah, so like I think pretty people have to learn social skills just as much as ugly people.
I don't know if they
really
have
think
to learn it
that's
just
true.
as much.
true.
I don't think they have to learn it just as much.
Vegan knows personally.
Let me unpack this because this is just going back and forth. Let me unpack something. One piece of learning social skills is knowing how to get the other person to positively focus on you. Whether it's seduction or whether it's sales or whether it's influence or whether it's persuasion, the currency of any of that is focus. And my claim is you can learn. I don't like the even idea of cold approach because I'm not cold. And they're not cold. I don't even consider it an approach. I'm extending an opportunity to connect with me in fun and powerful ways. So if I can temporarily get someone's attention, break it away from what they've been doing, and in just a minute of time, get their focus on me in a way where they want to continue, that's a very powerful skill. That skill can be taught, and it can be done in a way. The worst I get, 9 times out of 10, if I don't get the connection I want, the worst I get is, you made my day. 1 out of 10 times I'll get a look, and then they just turn away. I'm saying if you don't know how to do something, if it's not within your experience, then of course you're going to say it's impossible. There are things that are possible if you have the tools and the understanding at your fingertips.
Wait, Ross, don't you see the way you're talking about it? It's like 1 out of 10, I get a weird look, but the other are positive experiences. Like you're talking about it like you're pitching a sales pitch to somebody, and
No,
they're
I'm
either going
talking
to
about
receive it or
human
not.
communication.
That's not really how relationships work.
I'm talking about human communication. And in the beginning, if you want to get someone's attention, particularly if they're a physically attractive woman and substantially younger, I might add, you have to do something to get that attention quickly. Is it a technique? Yes. Is it harmful? No. Can it flow what you call organically once you've got attention and once they're focused on you? Sure. And again, organically, Grace, when you were born, you didn't organically have control over your bowels. You crapped your pants. Now you have organic control over it because you had to be taught. You can teach virtually any skill that's within the laws of physics. I have tens of thousands of students who've
Do you
learned
think you
it.
can teach somebody how to be funny?
If I could,
Yeah,
yes.
I do. Yeah, you definitely can.
Yeah.
You definitely
Oh,
can.
come on, no way.
Grace, time out. If you were to meet most comedians, so like go to the Laugh Factory sometime, if you meet most comedians and you were to ask them about their upbringing, the majority, not all of them, but the majority of them are going to tell you I was an awkward kid and they got up on stage regularly and they watched what other comedians did until they understood the concepts of like, set up, punchline. Over time, they understood the concepts of timing and topics that people found funny. So yes, you definitely can teach people to be funny.
There are comedy classes in college, and you can find comedians like Adam Sandler, who said he was terrible when he first started doing comedy. Nobody would laugh at him, and he had to learn these things over time. So there absolutely is a science behind things like comedy.
Comedy is very formulaic. My instructor is a guy named Nick Anderson. He was a casting director, and there's a book actually at USC which goes over the dynamics of comedy, like the scientific way that it works. So yeah, you can definitely teach comedy.
Hey, at 21, your brain isn't even fully formed till like 25, so you still have plenty of time to learn new skills, young lady.
Yeah, Grace, you can turn
I
funny
already
as
learned
shit, Grace.
all of them.
Grace, you can get funny as shit.
Knocks. My parents fought all the time. I get the best social skills from that. You learn how to argue. That's why I'm here.
Is that why you're
Alex,
laughing at people randomly here?
Are you still mad because I asked you to take your sunglasses off, dude? It was a joke. Relax.
Grace, thank you.
She wants me to show my eyes. We might have a connection.
Alex, maybe do we want to change subjects since it's all of us just ganging up on Grace here?
Yeah. If everyone is good on this topic, we can switch.
Debate with jockey. We all basically agree. I'm just making a little distinction that you can't.
No, you guys don't
turn it
agree.
into a curriculum.
It does seem to be like a
life experience will teach you, and that's what they're saying, pretty much.
No. You guys, there's difference between 5 people and 1 person. You're the 1 person, Grace. Your position is that number one, trying to teach social skills is kind of cringy and awkward, and is probably not something that can really be done. That needs to be something that's done naturally. Ross's position, Vegan's position, and especially my position, and I think the other ladies on the panel, is that absolutely you can teach social skills, and actually that's probably the best recourse for guys who don't naturally grow up with good social skills, who don't actually more popular in high school. Those guys, their choice is either cope or give up, or they can actually learn and develop those social skills, and it'll be just as natural and just as smooth as a guy who learned it naturally. So there's definitely a big difference in your positions.
It's
Wait,
so
can we really
fucking
quickly
easy. You can learn it from AI. I've simplified it to the point where my AI can teach it. It's
That's not
ridiculously
true.
easy.
Wait, can we go back to the original topic though? Is pickup sleazy? Does everybody basically agree with that? I was just wondering.
No,
Like,
it's not.
I think
No.
it's a formula of pitching yourself to women to see if they want to sleep with you, and I think it's sleazy, and only the sleaziest whores will say yes.
I think you're it's pretty reductive, and I'm a person who's like not very pro pickup, but like I think it's a little bit of a reductive explanation for it. I think it's a bit of YouTube bigotry right there. I think it's inefficient because the problem is, here's the issue, Grace. If we go back to 2003, let's just say the original pickup artist, like 2001, from then to now, that's 23 years. There's a stark difference between, like, say, Lucario and Mystery, who have completely different styles of pickup. One of them is hyper direct and one of them is hyper indirect. It's really impossible to say, like, pickup is just sleazy. It's like saying black people are lazy. Like, it makes you can't make a statement like that. It's just, it's
Michael,
way too, being too reductive.
I have a question for you, because I've never quite understood this distinction between direct, indirect. To me, the question is it effective or is it ineffective? If I can give you
agreed.
Let me give you an example. So I recall a couple of times when I've been on airplanes seated next to women, and on one occasion I spent a weekend with that woman. We just happened to, we struck up a chat. I didn't have to introduce myself, but I did all the speed seduction stuff I would do if I walked up to someone. And at the end of it, I expressed a direct interest. I said, hey, I don't know anyone here in San Luis Obispo. Would you show me around for the weekend? She said, sure. So I don't know. And then on the other hand, I can walk up to someone who doesn't know me from shit, who's 25 years younger, and get them laughing, and then express the reason why I approach them. And they're fine with it. So I'm not trying to argue. I really want to know what you mean between direct and indirect, because to me, it's just effective or ineffective.
Yeah, well, so if you're the better looking you are, or the more initial status symbols or status signs you have, direct works better. Your percentages increase. Since most women find most men in an unfamiliar environment to be unattractive, then most men, when they go direct, do not do as well, or their shooting percentages can be way below 50, probably below 10%. Indirect is a situation where I go from an unfamiliar environment to a familiar environment, and I have the opportunity to let her see I might be funny, I might rescue animals, I might have a bunch of different social alignments. She might know friends of mine, different stuff like that, where we might find out, oh, we have a ton of, you watch Game of Thrones? I watch Game of Thrones. That's a more of an indirect way to go. So if you're 6'3", Australian with six-pack abs, a tattoo sleeve, and a fucking Bugatti, go direct. If you want an Academy Award, go direct. If you're incredibly good looking, go direct. For those guys, I think direct game works well. For the other 95% of men, it's less efficient to go direct, and it's more efficient to like do things to build attraction. And that's why I say, I didn't say pick up a sleaze, I say it's inefficient.
Okay. I thank you for the definition. I don't agree with the conclusions, but thank you for the definition. I was just asking for your definition.
All right, there's two directions we can go in that I kind of wrote down. Number one could be best dating strategy for men in 2024. Or we could shift gears and talk about, I guess, just society as a whole, and talk about something like, is feminism net positive and net negative for society? I want a topic.
God, no. Boring.
All right, so I'm open to any other ideas as well. I want ideally like a topic where it's not 5 against 1.
Let's talk about the debate, the presidential debate. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Fuck that.
Are we riding with Biden?
I wish they could both be president.
Everyone's going to agree on that anyway. So
what about this nonsense about fours with fours and the rest of that nonsense?
Say that again.
Oh yeah, people should stay in their range.
You're talking about assortative mating. Is that what you're saying?
No. You sent me something, Alex, about fours should stay with fours, and I think that's rubbish.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be another 5-on-1, but sure, we can do it. So the claim from Grace was exactly, again, I'm going to read this verbatim, so I don't butcher this. Hang on, let me pull this up. Got my little text
What
here.
a lazy host. You couldn't even come up with your own topics. I had to feed you all this.
No, I couldn't.
How are you getting bitch slapped hard? What the fuck?
I need to learn some social skills, clearly. Okay, here's the claim. Men leveling up is turning life into a video game, which is not actually how it works. If men are forced, they should get with female force and not try to level up to higher women. It's ridiculous. That's Grace's claim. So Have at
All
it.
right. Let me tackle that one. First of all, I don't know how, by what objective unit of measurements you rate a human being. There's no objective unit
That's a
of
good
measurement.
point.
If you want to talk about, if you want to
There
talk,
are some objective, like you
if
can
you
rate
want
them on
to talk
height and
about
income.
facial, if you want to talk about facial features and symmetry, okay, I understand what you're talking about. If you think that's true, then I challenge you. I look and see. You will see beautiful women with men who are not physically attractive, who don't have money, who just understand how to be charming and understand female psychology. That's number one. Number two, I just don't understand it. My claim is that women look at us through the emotions they feel for us. I'll say it again. Women look at us through the emotions they feel for us. So if you can generate those emotions of feeling desirable, of feeling desired, of feeling attractive, of feeling connected, of being focused, then a woman's going to look at you through that emotional filter. You're going to appear a lot more attractive than you would by a standard measure of facial symmetry or height or any of the rest of it. I'm just saying, if you haven't experienced it, I don't expect you to believe it. And by the way, Sartain, I want to come out there and be on your show, and maybe we can go out and feel that I can demonstrate some of this stuff.
Russ, I want to take you on stage to see Deadmau5. I don't want you to just go on my show. I want you to go on stage where we're out there at a fucking club. I want you to take, you know what? I want to take Ross Jeffries to EDC. That's what I want to do.
I'm
I want to
too
take him to
old.
Electric Daisy Carnival.
I don't go to clubs.
I want to be
I don't
dressed
go
up
to
in
clubs.
fucking neon. That's what I
Listen to
want.
me. Listen to me. I don't go to clubs, or I hate drunks. I hate crowds. But other than that, I'm on. Anyway, that's my statement to you, that you cannot objectively measure human beings. And even if you could, women look at us, the emotions they feel for us, and you can engineer those emotions, evoke them, elicit them, whatever word you want to use, as long as it starts with an E.
I get what you're saying. I just mean, like, if you take, like, I'm not saying just looks, because sometimes guys are fat or whatever, and they're charming and they're funny, and it doesn't really matter what guys look like. Men are much more visual creatures when it comes to women than the other way around. But what I'm saying is a 4 overall, like a 4, like not good looking, but also bad personality. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like, the idea
fine.
of leveling up and saying, like, okay, using techniques, I will get a 9 even though I'm a 4. It's video game
Do you think it's fixed?
society.
Do you think that once you're a 4, you're a 4 for life?
Depends what age. If you're 4 when you're like 30 overall, probably for the rest of your life, yeah.
I mean,
I
you
don't
can
think
always
that's
improve
true.
your personality and have personal growth. So you can recognize that there are issues with yourself. Like maybe you have anger issues, maybe you're kind of a downer and you're often depressed. And you can work on those things. And that seems to be a benefit for everybody. Not just the person who's trying to, say, attract a better looking female. It's better for society if there's more happy, well-adjusted people that are also maybe better looking. And it's a better situation for their next potential partner if they've not only improved their looks and appearance, but they also make more money. They also improve some of their personal issues. They have less baggage. They have less anger issues.
I think there's another word here that's not being introduced into the discussion, which is trauma. I think a lot of people who carry trauma come off as creepy, come off as weird, come off as bizarre. Half of my job that I've done, by the way, I started this in 1988 before there was an internet. But I've learned in a 36-year career that half the job is being a healer. Many of the guys who come to this have significant emotional trauma. They've been beaten, they've been abused, abandoned, ignored, or they just didn't have a good role model and they're emotionally dysregulated. So one of the things I'm claiming is you can teach dysregulated people to emotionally regulate. There are techniques to do it. I teach them. A lot of what we are viewing with contempt here ought to be viewed with compassion. It's not that the guy is a creep or any of the rest of it. He's just fucking, now some of them are creeps, but I think the majority are just traumatized. And so what they need in addition to help and pick up is they need healing. And I don't think that's something that should be looked down on. I think every human being needs it. I think life is inherently traumatic, both chronically, low grade, and acutely. So I just want to introduce that one word into the discussion. that there ought to be at some point, maybe not in this discussion because it's not on the topic and it's not controversial, but a lot of Grace, a lot of what you pick up on guys as being creepy or weird or sleazy is a lot of trauma. And when guys suppress them, when anyone suppresses emotion, when a human suppresses emotion, it's going to come out in their nonverbals. They're going to stare too much. They're going to have angry expressions. It's just an outward expression of an inward trauma. You heal that trauma, and a lot of that stuff drops on its own. And that's all I'm going to introduce. I mean no disrespect to you. I know I joked about you being smacked. I don't know you. It's my first communication with you. But I am saying that aspect of trauma and healing trauma is something you may not have considered and you know, might want to look at it.
No, that's true.
Let me pose a question to Ross real quick and the rest of the panel. Are some guys who lost cause? I mean, are there some percentage of guys?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's going on. I cannot help someone who has a personality disorder. For example, someone who's narcissistic or borderline. I'm incapable of helping them. My stuff, my technology requires that you be smart. You can't be a dumbass and do speed seduction. So if someone is dumb, I can't help them. And finally, if someone is just unwilling to learn. Now, just because they're not getting it the first time doesn't mean they're unwilling. It could be a sign that I need to adapt as a teacher. In my 36 years of teaching thousands of guys, I welcome challenges. If a student challenges me, I bring them on stage and I'll give them $20 and say, help me understand what's your challenge. So sometimes it's just me needing to expand as a teacher.
What Ross is saying is exactly right, but I'll take it even one step further. The ones who don't listen, guys who like pay for sex, and then they come to you and actually think they have game. Those when you talk about lost causes, that would be a lost cause. Like they actually think they don't even want to hear that what they're doing is wrong. Another one is the guy who actually is super awkward in social situations. The guy, a great example, the guy whose breath smells, you tell him his breath smells and he argues back with you. I don't know how to help that guy because it's like, how are you arguing with me that your breath smells? Those guys, I think, are there's some people that are like that for sure.
I agree. I used to have people in my seminars fly. They used to fly in from all over the world. And I'm not going to get racist here, but from some countries, they smelled real bad. I would stop the seminar. Need to go at the break. Someone here needs to go smell them.
Can you guess
go
what
upstairs and take a fucking shower? Because I'm not.
Bro, they don't shower, bro. They don't shower. It's crazy, and they don't brush their teeth, and they think it's weird that we brush our teeth every day. And I'm like,
I gag.
I swear to God, and I'm like, bro, show me your ideal girl. And I'm like, you think that this girl fucks a dude who doesn't brush her teeth? Like, wake the fuck up, dude. And you have to have conversations like that, and they don't want to hear it. You know, that those guys, I would say, also what he said before, you meant antisocial personality disorder. I can't help a guy who's a sociopath. That's too far.
And I would argue that this narcissists and sociopaths actually, while highly unethical, will actually have success. The guys that are harder to help are guys who are autistic, and those guys who just don't understand social cues. Those guys are really hard to help.
If borderlines are
autistic, it's impossible.
I agree that they can be good with women.
Wait. Well, Ross and Michael, don't go too hard though, because girls like a guy's natural scent. You know, some guys like shave every hair off their body and shower twice a day. We don't like that. We like the musk. You know, don't go too hard.
Let's just say these guys smell like buzzards on shit wagons.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
Were some of these dudes from India? Just out of curiosity.
Vegan, I have no idea what you're talking about, Vegan. I have no idea. Why would you say something like that?
Let's just say,
Jazmen, why are you smiling? What is wrong with you people?
They were from subcontinents, and leave it at that.
A continent that's outside of the Americas and outside. Yeah. Okay. Here's an interesting topic that I think I just thought of. Yeah, I think we'll have a good amount of disagreements. Is monogamy worth it in 2024?
I think anybody can have. Yeah. So I think anybody can have relationships that they want to have. If you have an interest in having multiple partners and you can negotiate that with your current partner or future partner, go for it. You can have a relationship on whatever term you want. If for whatever reason you want a monogamous relationship because of your religious beliefs, personal preferences, go for it. If you want a polyamorous relationship because of your personal preferences or whatever, go for it. I don't think there's any kind of standard that anybody really needs to, abide by, so long as they're not breaking the law, harming other people. I think it's all good.
let me rephrase the question then. Is there a relationship style that's more effective than others and that is preferable, meaning in terms of outcomes, not in terms of ethics?
Obviously. I don't even think that that's
Obviously,
contested.
committed marriage is the most ideal relationship. All the other ones are just cope.
I think when we talk about like I think in a perfect world, like a libertarian outlook on this would be great. We should be able to do what we want, be in charge of our own destinies, but we see statistically that children do worse in plural marriage. We see that the crime rates go up. We see just dissatisfaction, especially like for women. So
I'm actually curious about that. You're saying children do worse in polyamorous marriages. What study are you referring to?
I can put it up in side chat.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
I don't know what like correlation versus causation. It could be that. So I would say the majority of people do better in monogamous relationships, but there are some people that have more of an unrestricted sociosexuality, and to kind of corner those people and force them into this mold that maybe fits 80% of society or 90%. I don't think that's conducive to that 10%, and that 10% might be bad parents anyway. We don't know. So I don't know if forcing everybody into something just.
So I posted one on women, and now I'm going to send you one on children.
I think the question was, is it worth it, right? Your question was,
this is polygamous marriages, not polyamorous marriages.
Yes,
it's the same thing. What's the actionable difference?
No,
what's the actionable difference?
Yeah, so the women can't go fuck other dudes. That's the actionable difference.
Not necessarily.
No. Sure, but that's not why children. That's not why children would do worse.
No. Polygamous marriages are where a man has multiple wives. A polyamorous marriage is where there's only one marriage, one man, one woman married, and they can have sex with other people. So that's not the same thing that you mentioned. Polyamorous. Okay,
so but how to a child? How does that affect the child differently in polygamy and open relationships?
Well, I don't know, but you didn't provide research suggesting that it's a negative. You were talking about polygamous marriages, not.
Have you read all of these things? I sent already. You read You read all of them already?
Well, the first study you linked was with polygamous marriages. I'll look at these other links.
Yes, but what I'm saying, okay, so when we talk about
these are all polygamous.
Sure.
Sorry,
hold on. So when we talk about okay. Let me talk.
So it's Nigerian marriages with polygamy. How is that comparable to polyamorous relationships in the United States at all?
Well, it doesn't even have to do with the United States. You're talking about a completely different relationship.
Well, exactly. That plus
King Solomon have.
So let's let Lav get a word into.
Well, wait. Well, the difference here is that you're talking about a marriage where there's one man, multiple wives. I'm talking about a relationship where there's one man, one woman who is married, but they can have sexual relationships outside the marriage, either one or the other or both.
Well, you can be polyamorous and not be married either. You can be polyamorous and have multiple on both sides. They don't have to have like one central couple in a polyamorous relationship.
Okay,
well,
speaking from my
polygyny that she's referring
to. My heritage.
Solomon, go ahead.
Solomon had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines.
Good enough. Yeah, but that wasn't. That didn't end. But that didn't end well. That didn't end well.
Third study that one was about Nigeria, one was about Jordan. Again, in polygamous.
Can I talk for even a moment?
That's a completely different culture. You're talking about polygamous marriages in the Middle East and comparing it to people in open relationships and like.
Okay, hold on. Let me speak, please. In a qualitative study of American Muslims of various ethnic backgrounds, women in polygamous relationships have reported being abused by their husbands or other wives. The prevalence of emotional distress, fearful feeling, low self-esteem, and loneliness have also been found higher among women in polygamous relationships compared to monogamous. I'm wondering what you think I'm wondering what. Can I get a word in?
Relevant, but go for it.
I'm wondering what the actionable difference is between being in an open relationship where your mother and father have sex with other people. Because if we've already established that just your father having sex with other people and being around other women is disastrous for children, why would it not double if the mother? Okay, what? Okay, we have established it, and I know for a fact that you have not read all of these studies that I posted.
But why would we read?
They're about. We don't need to.
Why would you read the studies? You already have your own narrative. Why would you?
Well, no. Listen. Well, listen.
Marriages in the Middle East to Western marriages here. That makes no sense. To say that Islam in Jordan and Nigeria and under, like, women literally get half the inheritance of men under Islam. You don't think that contributes? Women getting abused has nothing to do with the...
So the issue, sorry, I forgot your name, Femoid. But the issue is we're talking about polyamorous marriages, not polygamous marriages, and you're also talking about a certain type of polygamous marriage with Middle Eastern couples that
was
have
one
a
study I
Muslim
sent you three.
background.
Have you read them all?
So
No,
the issue is I don't need to read them all. I was curious. Well, I was curious about the side effects of polyamorous marriages. You said polyamorous marriages have disastrous effects on children. You
Yes.
gave me a link to studies looking at polygamous marriages. That's not the same thing.
We're gonna go in
So
circles.
you're
So if we've
using a
already
different-
established that having one parent in plural relationships is disastrous to children, then adding your mother also having multiple relationships would lead obviously to a child being
then
having an unstable
data.
sense of self.
Yeah,
Okay, then display that data.
So obvious.
No, we're not doing data stuff.
Please read. Please read.
I don't need to read it because it's not on the same subject.
Islamic marriages that are polygamous. We want to read about polyamorous marriages.
Well, look, by the way,
Liv, I'll read it. I'll read it. Can we move on? I'll read it, Liv.
Oh, did she leave?
Did Lav rage quit? Come back, Lav! No!
Lav. Oh, sorry, Lav. I said Liv. Lav. I'll read it.
I'll be back in a minute, folks.
Wait, she's back.
Larges.
Oh, okay.
Put the wrong button. My bad.
Yeah, so the issue is we were talking about polyamorous marriages. You're talking about polygamous marriages. So I don't know how you can compare polyamorous marriages
So what's the
to polygamous
difference?
Marriages.
What's the difference between polygamy and polyamory?
So I just explained the difference. The difference is in a typical polyamorous marriage specifically, you have one wife, one husband. They're married together. They have side relationships where the husband might have a girlfriend, the wife might have a boyfriend, or only the husband has a girlfriend, or only the wife has a boyfriend. That is different than one man having multiple wives where those wives can't have any other relationships and they're tied to the man. You're also adding another unique aspect where these are Islamic marriages. You will likely find there is far more marital abuse in Islamic marriages that aren't even polygamous.
That's certainly true.
So I don't know how this research you linked to us has anything to do with
so if you read the study,
marriages.
it's ways that children are affected by things like that. So it's not just
Lav,
like
send me the study. I'll read it.
It's in side chat. It's not
Wait,
just
what
like
is the original question? Do polyamorous marriages hurt children?
No,
Polygamous?
the original question was monogamy worth it? The original question is monogamy worth it?
Not because Jordan
How about this? How about this? Is monogamy even possible past a certain period?
It is possible. I think it's possible.
Well, are some people, I'm not saying one way or the other, I'm introducing a question to the debate. Are humans hardwired for monogamy, or are some humans just hardwired for polyamory?
I'll give you the evolutionary psychology answer, which is we live a lifetime of polygamy interspersed with small periods of monogamy.
I agree.
That's the actual answer. We will have periods of time, and now sometimes you'll have, like my grandparents, they went 75 years, so the entire time was just one case of monogamy. But most people, it's going to be 4 years with my high school girlfriend, and then it's going to be my college girlfriend for maybe 4 years, and then a long-term relationship, then a second one, then maybe a marriage. And those are different periods of monogamy interspersed in a lifetime of polygamy. That would be the answer.
Okay, but that's not how people generally used to do it. That's a recent
misusing
phenomenon.
terms. Well, wait, we're misusing terms. What do you mean by polygamy?
So I don't mean polygamy in the sense that you do. What I mean in polygamy is both sides having multiple partners. Meaning, if I get married to my wife, if she's had partners before me and I've had partners before her, in my lifetime, I've had multiple partners. In my lifetime,
by definition, that's not
polygamy.
Time.
Okay, got it. But also, by definition, polygamy doesn't mean that they're married.
Are you sure?
But
yeah, polygamy. They're not married. Okay. By the way, spoiler alert. Lav, hold on. Spoiler alert, Lav. Jazmen is polyandrous and I'm polygynous. We have this discussion all the
I've
time.
been in an open.
Actually-
I've been in an open relationship before.
No, hold on. Neither of us are open. Jazmen is polyandrous, meaning she can see
Yeah.
multiple men, and her man cannot see anyone else.
Sure.
And I am polygynous, meaning my girlfriend and I see women together, and we're both saying that monogamy can work.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't even think that. I don't. My personal belief is I don't think that monogamy can work forever. Like, I think that you should
Sure.
absolutely. Like, I think that you should. The healthiest option is to give your partner freedom to explore something that very much interests them. I don't think it should be on a
Wait a
whim.
second, Lav. Didn't you just get married?
Yes.
Congratulations,
What do you
Lav.
mean monogamy
Thank
doesn't
you.
work forever? You just took a lifetime vow to a man, didn't you?
Yeah, but if he ever meets someone who really piques his interest and he wants to explore that, I would not stop him.
Oh my god. Girl, what?
Why
What does
would
that
I?
even mean? Did he vow his life to you, and did you vow your life
Yes,
to him?
we vowed to
Like-
experience and
Did you
witness each
say
other's
in
lives.
the vows, unless you find somebody you like more than me? What?
Wait,
That's
it's not
not
about
what
like
you're saying.
that's okay. I'm not even gonna have this conversation. No, that's not. It's not as simple as that. No.
Yeah,
But-
so that's not what she's saying. And by the
Well, that is
way,
what you're saying.
women in general don't have as much of a problem as their partners having other relationships as men have an issue with their partners having other relationships.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's
but
fairly
still.
typical to see women that are okay with their husbands or their
No,
boyfriends having
no,
other
I call
partners.
BS. That is not true. If a woman gets married to a man, she expects him to be faithful to her and vice versa. That's why
No.
cheating is part of divorces, because it's a sign that you broke the
That's
vow
in
that you
those
promised to the
particular
other
relationships.
person.
I also think it's more lying than the act of having sex with someone else's body.
Okay, so
No, hold on,
Lav,
what Lav said is correct.
yeah.
Well,
if you
it
trust
depends.
someone, it's a little different.
But no, but you said
It
if he
depends on
find-
how the
you said
relationship
if
is
he
negotiated.
finds-
Women are
You
not
said,
allowed.
wait, Lav, are you seriously standing by that? You got married to this guy, but you're saying if he finds someone more interesting than you, you'd allow him to have
Not
a
more.
flirtatious
Not more.
or
First of all,
sexual
there's
relationship
nobody
with
more
her?
interesting than me.
But you said if
Um,
someone he likes more than you, if he
Oh,
finds
I
someone he
love
likes
her.
more than
That's
you,
not what she said.
then what?
That's not what I said. I said so. There's some things that like I just don't do. For one, I hate traveling. I hate concerts. Won't do either of them. I'm not a social butterfly. My husband is very much a social butterfly. If he meets a woman who wants to travel the world with him or go on like concert dates, I would absolutely be like, you know what? I don't want to hold you back from that experience. Go do what you want.
What
Would you
if
stay
he
married
flirted
to
with
him, Lav?
her?
Of course I would. Why would
What
that
if he-
affect
what
our
if-
You would,
Could he have-
so
could
you
he
would
have
say,
sex
so
with her? Could
that's
he
the
have
part we
sex
didn't
with her?
understand.
Could he have sex with her?
Yes, he could have sex with her.
That's not a marriage.
we didn't
Sorry,
understand that part.
sorry, you didn't get
It is
married.
a-
I don't know
you
what you
can-
thought.
That is a
You
marriage.
can have
No,
marriages.
it's not.
That is
That-
marriage.
a marriage.
No,
a
it's
marriage
not.
is a
Sorry,
marriage.
How do
is a
you?
legal
So Grace,
Just get
agreement.
married.
so Grace,
I
if
did.
that's not a marriage, can you define marriage?
Well, she
Yeah.
thinks
Yes.
that the cat.
George
She
A
believes
Miller
the cat is
monogamous,
marriage.
a monogamous
Yeah.
commitment to life for a man to a woman together who promise to be loyal to each other until they're dead and to have children together. That's what a marriage is. Pretty
it's not
simple.
realistic.
Everybody's known this, like for the
So
entirety
gay
of time.
couples
I
can't
only
get
have
married
one
because-
contribution.
No,
wait.
gay couple marriage is not. It's not real. They're
I
just
only
roommates
have-
who have sex. It's not marriage.
I only have
Marriage has to do
one
with children.
contribution here.
Okay, so if
Which is-
I
Grace
married
is
a
the
woman
trad con
who's-
here. Jazmen, I'm so confused. Grace is the trad con. I was like looking at you guys, and I
I'm
couldn't
not a
figure out which
trad
one of
con.
you was it.
okay,
I'm just
Grace
Catholic.
is the
I'm
trad
just
con. I couldn't
normal.
figure it
Everybody
out.
knows. That's not tradconism. Everybody knows that's what marriage
She's not
is.
trad.
Anyone who
so
said
there's
I'm just
no need to
normal, that's
scream.
that's
We
me
can-
to trad con.
we can have
Yeah.
So if
my
two
only
people were to say get
contribution
married
here-
at the age of 50, and they can't have children, is that not a marriage?
I mean, within the Catholic Church, you'd have to get an exception. Marriage is mostly about two people staying loyal to each other. For number one, for the bond, and number two, to raise children together.
Yes.
That's
So
what
there's
it's
no
called the
requirement
Yes, wait,
of
wait,
having
wait,
children.
wait.
system.
Wait. So we are
Well,
getting
we're not
married
on a
literally for
religious-
those things.
I said loyal. You can't
We
sleep
are
around with
loyal
other
to each
people.
other.
That
Well,
is
unless he
being
finds,
honest.
unless he
He's
apparently,
honest,
unless he
loyal.
finds
Why
somebody
can
he
you- why
likes
can you
more
not
than
be-
you.
First of all, there is nobody better than me. So go
You
ahead
don't
and
sound
try.
too sure about that.
So go
I
ahead
love
and
it.
try to find it. But you're not going to. I think I also
Yo.
emotionally exhaust him enough
Yo.
to where he doesn't need to go for outside.
Emotionally exhausted.
but,
Lad, you're awesome. I
thank
totally
you.
agree with you. No
thank
one's more
you.
interesting than you.
Thank you.
don't
But
we
yeah,
just get
I don't
married
think that him
first?
having a one night stand with someone is going to affect our relationship in any way. I don't think that him even having a girlfriend who is different than us, who is different than me, is going to affect me and his relationship in any significant way. We have made a promise to each other to witness each other's lives and to have children together, which is why we got married.
Can I bring?
What if he has a kid? Wait, hang on.
statistics?
Wait, I have a question. What if he has a kid with another woman?
Well, there are ways
that
that you can
cool?
avoid having children.
No, but what if he says, I want to have a kid with this woman, and I made another commitment to her to see her
Then
life through with her?
Then I wouldn't be with him.
Okay, well, it sounds like you maybe need to work this out. I don't know if you got married, Lav. I don't know if you
What do you
got
mean?
married.
We've worked this out.
Well, it sounds like
Yeah,
you
we've
didn't think
worked
it
this
through.
out.
He can have
Just made
sex
up a
with other women.
hypothetical and
He can have
felt
sex with other women, but if he wants to have a child with another woman, like he wants to have with me, but he doesn't want to stay loyal to me, just like he won't stay loyal to this
I
woman,
don't want to have to deal with
that's
the
okay.
complicated. I don't want to have. I'm not gonna live in. Actually, let me actually say this is that a sister wife situation would not be that bad to me. I would not hate that.
Well, that's not
I would
a
not hate
marriage.
that.
You don't have a marriage.
What about Lav? What about
Well,
the
then I don't have a
reverse?
marriage.
Well, I'm
I
gonna
have
pose
no
a question.
dog in this fight,
Huh?
except to
What about all of Islam? What
real
about
quick.
all of
Well,
Islam?
I think the
Wait, real
reverse.
quick,
I think the
real-
only problem with the reverse is that tensions can get a bit higher. I think that men have a propensity to want to physically hurt and kill each other if they're fighting over a woman. I also don't think that like there are
That's the
definitely
only
like there are
problem?
definitely women who like want to sleep with multiple men, and if they find a man that's okay with that, then do your thing. I just don't think that 95% of women want that. Like I don't think that 95%
Okay, hold on,
of
hold on.
women want.
Can I bring?
You're making this so much more complicated than it needs to be.
I
Let's
don't
let
think it's
Mark
that complicated.
Let me bring some boring stats into this for Grace and for Lav here. Okay, so here's some boring stats. So when the evolutionary psychologists, they do these studies. One of the studies they do is they ask men and women. They say, what would make you more upset if your partner cheated on you and it was an emotional cheating, but there was no sex, or there was a short-term sexual encounter, but there was no emotions. In general, women about 60-70% of the time said they would be more hurt if it was an emotional cheating, but there was no sex involved. For men, it was like 90% of the time they were way more bothered by the actual act of penetration, right? So
But
that
what
makes
we
sense,
consider
yeah.
cheating.
About the
Well,
sexual
let me-
part, even if they
there's three studies.
part more.
Hey, Jazz, there's a thing when your voice when you start talking that it cuts you out. Do you have AirPods or something like that?
Yeah, do you have headphones?
Do you guys hear what I'm hearing? Like, 'cause
Yeah,
your
you get
first
drowned
word
out
gets
because
cut
the
off.
echo
Can
cancellation.
your first word
get
gets cut
drowned
off.
out. Yeah.
I've been quiet. I would like to make a point.
Oh, let me just do the other two studies. So that's the first study. The second study, they go over when men and women cheat. When men cheat, they report the same level of satisfaction. Oh, there's it. Echo.
You're good. You're good. I was just trying to play a setting. Keep going.
Yeah. When men cheat, they report the same level of satisfaction in the marriage as men who don't cheat. So men who do cheat and men who don't cheat report the same level of satisfaction in marriage. When women cheat 83% of the time, they report lower satisfaction in the marriage. So again, when men cheat, the men who they surveyed that cheated and the men who didn't, they reported the same level of satisfaction. When women cheat 83% of the time, they report less satisfaction. And
Wait, I have a question in these. Wait, I just have a question about that stat. Did the men who cheated, did they tell their wife that they cheated? And
No, but
versa?
they're anonymous telling a survey. It was an anonymous survey by evolutionary psychologists. And here's the third one. The third study is this. When women cheat, they fall in love with their affair partner about 83% of the time. When men cheat, they fall in love with their affair partner about 30% of the time. So the thing is, in general, what you guys are saying, like what Lav is saying is true. In general, so when I say 83% of the time, that means 17% of the time, women just wanted good dick, and then they went off and cheated, and they don't intend on leaving their husband. But 83% of the time, when they do cheat, it's because they had less satisfaction in the marriage, and they wanted to move on. Meaning, in general, men and women cheat for different reasons. So going back to what he said before, the thing about it, Grace, is like that we're all the same. We're not all the same. It's not. There is a significant quantifiable difference between what men and women consider cheating in a relationship and the reason why they would leave a relationship. Does that make sense? We're just trying to point out that there's innate sex
Yeah, I
differences.
agree
That's
with
all.
you, but what she's describing is exactly what women don't want in a relationship, which is him having a female friend who he goes different places with and has a close emotional relationship to.
I think maybe it's unusual that my ego is as big as it is, and I don't think that anyone can replace me. Maybe I'm just mistaken.
No, but you didn't say that. You said if
Lav,
he
can you
found
see
a
other
girl
dudes?
that, but you
yeah.
Lav can see other dudes.
Yeah.
That's
Lav
not a
can see other
marriage.
dudes. You
Lav,
missed that part.
Lav, your husband recently had sex with another woman. Is that correct?
Yes.
How did that feel?
I think knee-jerk jealousy, but then it didn't affect our relationship in any way.
Sure.
Let's go back
It
to
hasn't.
single people. for a
We can look at the majority, but we have 3 women on this panel who all like entirely different things. Grace wants a totally lifelong monogamy. I like my guy to be loyal to me. I like to be the more dominant one in the relationship. Lav likes to let her man do whatever, and she wants to sit there and be loyal, whatever. So this right here tells you that people are different, and different things work for different people. And you can't
No,
sit
what
there.
you two have is unhealthy. What I'm describing is normal healthiness that a woman looks
Where's
for.
your
in a man.
husband then?
Go ahead, take another drag of that cigarette, and then tell us more about it. What I'm describing is healthy relationships.
Yeah, your
Yes,
body is
I
healthy
smoke,
relationship.
Michael. I smoke. Does that mean I'm incorrect?
Grace,
Does that ad hominem?
Grace.
Ad hominem.
I think
Right.
I
you'll
have a
be
question.
very
You
Grace. I
smoke
think
while you're
you'll be
pregnant?
very surprised on how it lit and how natural it is to have sex with someone and not like develop a relationship afterwards.
I think that's what used up whores say. I don't think that applies to most
Hey,
women.
No,
Grace.
She
for
is
men-
the
I'm
trad
saying
cog.
I'm saying
No,
about
officially,
men.
She is the trad cog. Grace
Hey,
is the
hey,
trad
I'm
cog.
saying
That
this
is
about
very
men.
clear.
Grace,
I'm saying
your
this
Oh
about
body
yeah,
men.
is
men have
the
less of an
Holy
emotional
Spirit,
connection
and
when
you
they
are
have sex.
defiling it.
Yeah, so you said that,
But
you
it's
didn't believe that
not
it didn't
there.
affect
It's
a
not like it's not
relationship.
there.
All right,
Men
one
will
more
just
time,
fuck
one more time, one more
anything.
time.
It's an emotional connection too. That's ridiculous
I-
to say. Oh, men can just have.
Hey,
That's
Alex,
not
can I say
true.
something? I've been
Yeah,
quiet.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you can go, Ross.
If I could, let's circle back to cheating, not just in marriage, but when you're single. Here's what I've found when guys come to me: the vast majority of the ones who do cheat, it's because they get into what I call relationships by default. They're not with someone who they're actually attracted to. They just accidentally found someone who's attracted to them because they don't have game. It's an attraction by accident. The more you do have game, the more you do have the skills to attract people at will, the less likely you're going to cheat, because when you do finally make a commitment, it's going to be to someone who you genuinely dig, and your other options are no longer attractive to you because you've been through them. So I say game done right, taught by the right people on the right boundaries, actually makes relationships less likely to be broken by cheating. And the other thing, Grace, your temple is the body of the Holy Spirit, and you are defiling it by smoking it. So you are a hypocrite.
Nicotine is good for you. It's fine. It's a low key
That's
stimulant.
what
No.
Alistair Mosey says now. Nicotine's
No.
good for you.
No.
Actually,
Well,
nicotine
yeah, I
itself
shouldn't
does
smoke,
have
but
benefits,
it's a
but
very
cigarette
very
smoking's bad.
low thing on the whole scale of defiling.
No,
I mean,
you-
I'm not riding the cock carousel. I
You're-
mean,
You're damaging your lungs and your heart. You're defiling the temple of the Holy Spirit.
I think if you
Stop
had social skills, you would be riding the cock.
Stop being a hypocrite.
that's what a whore would say.
No,
By the
I
way,
think if you were
if,
even a bit more likable, you would be having sex with someone every single day.
Lav, I think if you had social skills, you would not let your husband sleep with other women.
Ooh.
Well, first of all, I don't let
I'm gonna
my
put
husband
real
do.
facts into
I'm not.
this.
I would kill my husband if he slept with another woman. That's
you're
the
the boss
normal experience. That's the
So you're the
normal
boss. So
reaction.
you're the boss. Then you're going to be the dominant one in the relationship. You're going to be head of the household.
Absolutely not. No, we both. I
Well, then
I would be the
if he
submissive
wants
one for
to
sure.
do that, if he wants to lead you into an open relationship or he wants to have sex with other women, what are you going to do?
Oh, I would say you didn't understand what marriage was. It's a commitment.
So what are you
to
going to
me
do? You
only.
can divorce him? No fault divorce?
No, I would get an annulment. You obviously didn't understand what marriage is. I thought I thought we both were understood that it was a commitment to each other for life.
I mean, Grace,
We
you
didn't know
are
we never got married.
the majority of women would not be okay with their husbands or their boyfriends being with other women. That is the majority. We can't just look at this weird, like, online OnlyFans BPD world and be like, oh, this is normal. It's not. You're right. The majority, but there's also reality, and a lot of times people enter relationships and think they're going to be together forever and no one's going to cheat, and then infidelity happens. And even though, like Michael, you were saying that more women are upset with emotional cheating over physical, they're still very upset with the physical. And infidelity is a huge reason why women choose to leave and divorce men, even if it's just physical.
Well, I mean, it could also be that if we got married, he's failing me in our marriage, and we still have a lifetime vow to each other. He's just failing me. I mean, that it depends on what's going on exactly, but you can't break off a marriage if it's a real marriage and you've really committed to each other for life. You can't get divorced. It doesn't exist.
No, I don't, Ross. I have 11. I don't need any more cats.
You have 11 cats
11.
for you.
I can smell your screen right now. That's crazy.
Come here, buddy. Come here.
You have
One of them
11
sleeping on
cats.
the laundry
I'm
right
coming to visit.
Not right now. I have 3.
Well,
right now,
since
but
there
I
was
have
cat
11.
fighting going on here, I figured I'd bring the actual thing.
So Lev, here's the thing: 56%. This country, we have a 56% divorce rate, and that divorce rate is actually decreased, but in part because fewer and fewer people are getting married, right? So do you not see how, like, the original question is monogamy worth it? Do you see how the institution of marriage right now, the way it's currently set up, it can be broken? It's probably because you're using the Catholic definition, which is we get married and that's the end of the discussion, right? And the problem is that's not the end of the discussion when it comes to like spousal abuse. Women tend to leave men 70 or 80% of the time. One of the main reasons is men not providing, men not doing chores, men losing their jobs. There's all these other things.
Wait, are you talking to
happen,
Grace or me?
I'm sorry,
Wait,
I'm talking to Grace.
Michael,
Okay.
Oh, I thought you
I
were talking to Lav. Okay.
Yeah, I
let
was like,
me throw in a
Sorry,
quick
I meant to say Lav. I'm sorry, I meant to say Grace. I apologize.
Yeah, wait,
Grace,
I want to hear what he's saying. Yeah.
What I'm saying is your prescription for marriage is the Catholic hammer and the anvil. You are together forever type of, and like nothing else needs to be heard. But yet we see numerous cases where even Catholic marriages, how about Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon, or Anne Boleyn where he cuts her head off? Like we see numerous cases where Catholic marriage does fall apart later on. And so my point is, if 56% of marriages are ending in divorce, do you see how the marriage in and of itself might be broken the way it's currently constituted?
Michael,
Well,
real quick,
I don't think.
real quick, let me just make one distinction. Michael, you do have to make a small distinction between monogamy and marriage. They're not always the same thing.
Yeah, of course. Good point. Yeah, definitely good point.
Well, but I don't think that
outside of the economic system in which it's embedded. Look,
I don't think that
marriage. When my parents, I'm an old fuck. I'm 65. My parents fought World War II. When my dad bought a home on the GI Bill, it was $35,000 for a huge 5-bedroom house. Nowadays, you can't have just one person working and afford a home. Hello there. You have to have both people working, and that's going to add stress into a marriage. It's going to make it even more difficult to cope with things. You cannot take something and accurately look at it outside of the economic system and the economic conditions in which it's embedded. So I just want to say one of the reasons why things were different 50 years ago and you didn't have that divorce rate was because you didn't have the same stresses of both partners working. The roles were more defined because the economics allowed it. The financial situation in which it was all embedded allowed it. It just doesn't allow for it now.
Well, you could argue the other way too. Women are kind of were more dependent on men as well, so the prospect of leaving a marriage was a little more shaky.
Wait, can I respond to Michael though? I just want to say, like, of course, like, my mother is currently divorcing my father, even though she is Catholic and so is he, and they got married in the Catholic Church. So she completely lied and broke all of her. I have sympathy for people who are failing in marriages. I understand that it's a broken society and marriages are fucked up a lot of the times. But I'm just saying that the definition of marriage, I don't think it's a religious thing. I just think it's like literally in the vows, till death do us part. That either means something or it doesn't. And there really is no other way to get around it. Like, it's a commitment for life. That's what, I'm just speaking as a woman, that's what every woman wants. That she wants to make that vow with a man, to lock him in,
I have a question for you, Grace.
to be dedicated to him for the rest of her life. If at some point you can, well, yes, that's true.
Well, I have a question for you, Grace.
That commitment, then it wasn't real in the first place. That's
right.
all I'm saying. It's not a religious point.
Right. So I have a question. If you ended up marrying a man and he ended up like beating you every day and was a drunk and lost his job, would you divorce him?
I would never divorce, but men and women can both fail in marriages and you can get separated and stuff like that. But I would never divorce someone who I got married to.
What would be the meaningful difference there?
Abusing your children? What if he was sexually, God forbid, Grace, sexually abusing your children? Would you divorce him?
Well, then he should go to jail, but we're still married.
Fuck you. That's
Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm just wondering. What's the meaningful difference?
That's the man I married, and he failed me, and he did something disgusting. But it is the man I married, so that bond is still there, even if men and women can both fail each other in marriage. Of course.
Wait, Grace, hypothetical. What if it turns out that he's secretly gay? He thought he was straight, and then he realized that he was gay, and he's fucking a bunch of
perfect scenario.
Would you? I
mean, that's likely to happen.
That's
likely to happen because I find gay men attractive for some
He can take care of you and you don't have to fuck him.
Wait. She made a confession. Pause. She said she finds gay men attractive.
A little bit. Some is some.
Talk to Grandpa. I'm highly trained.
That's against God.
Talk to Grandpa. Now, what is it about gay men that causes you to let loose and just find yourself feeling attractive?
You know, I think it's because I like I have 4 brothers and 1 sister, and I live with my dad, so I can get a little bit overly masculine. So I like a guy who's like also not masculine, who's kind of like more, you know, in tune with the sensual areas of life and maybe a little
Oh,
bit more
really?
feminine to counteract that. But
Really?
not really. I also like a guy who will like smack me around. It varies.
I saw the
whether I'm
video. I
ovulating
know
or not.
that.
What Grace really wants is a gay guy that can slap her around.
So wait a
Gay
minute.
men,
So
can't,
what you're
gay men
saying-
are largely they're
Wait a
violent
minute,
towards each other.
Grace.
So why not towards
So
me?
what you're saying is your version of a 10 is not what another woman's version of a 10 is, because a lot of women wouldn't like a guy who has these feminine, gay-like characteristics. You just belied your whole argument about 4s and 9s and 10s. You just eviscerated your own argument and cut your own throat by what you just said. Because you
I'm not
said,
saying people can't have preferences.
okay, but you said that someone who's a 4 should stick with a 4, correct? Right? But
Yes,
to you,
yeah.
to you, what you would consider a 10 is someone who has feminine characteristics, and a lot of women would view that as a 0. So my point is there's no objective standard.
I would say that's a weird thing. I think that's disordered in me. I think like a Marlon Brando I do find quite attractive. But I'm not saying people like weird people don't like weird people. I'm just saying the idea of leveling up and saying I'm going to get a 9 even though I see myself as a 4 is retarded. You should get
Well,
somebody who's within the same range as you.
My point is,
What if objectively?
should
But what if he
Yeah.
can get a 9 though? What if he can get a 9?
Well, but then he
look,
wouldn't be
it's
a
so
4.
simple. I created an AI to teach you to do it. I don't even have to be there.
Oh my God!
That's
Hold
why
on.
I
Wait.
quit.
Grace, you're missing the point. Like, so, but you're talking
Like
about
that.
like
He's saying-
transitive property because he's dating a 9, he's no longer a 4. Which, by the way, I agree with you, but I'm just surprised to hear you say this.
That was good.
I mean, it depends. Like, I agree with Ross. Like, it was just a provocative state. I don't really think you can objectively say like you're a 4. Maybe physically you can, but like personality has way more to do with it, especially for guys than for girls. So like, he could be a 4 physically, but he's a 10 personality wise. You know, I don't know. It's
Yeah, but he
hard to
wasn't a
quantify.
10 personality wise when he was 22, but he became a 10 personality wise when he's 32. I've made this
Yeah,
argument
sure.
before. A lot of women don't believe that male self improvement even exists. They just don't. And like Grace is probably the best example I've ever seen of this. You just don't believe male self improvement exists. Yet the problem is I have
That's
1,600
not true.
clients.
That's not true.
You're sitting there telling me that you can't tell these.
My
you
dad
can't
used to
teach
be a
these guys.
beta simp cock, and now he's a
Used to be?
strong man because he got red pilled on women.
Grace, your
Well,
dad
well,
has been trying to hit me up through chat for the last hour.
Why do you call him privately on Discord, Lav?
Oh, this is
Why do you
getting
call him
too
privately on
in
Discord?
chat.
I was
I
gonna
never
say,
You've
called
been
him
calling him
privately in my
privately
life.
on Discord. Yes, you have.
Yo. Lav, are you
I have
bullshitting? Is this for
never
real?
done that in my life. What?
Okay, I'll have him.
Are you
show
serious?
I'll have him show the screenshots.
What?
Her dad is hitting you up right now?
Yes, look at
Yeah, he's in the
chat.
chat.
Please go
Look
on
at
more.
the playing with fire chat. He's been literally hitting on me the whole fucking time.
Me and my dad
I
streamed
thought
together.
he was like hitting you up privately, like DMing you. Okay, got it. Okay.
No.
He said, "I
That
love
is
you, babe."
incredible.
I
That's
told
amazing.
Is that
I told
is this
him that I
Riz?
wanted to be,
Is that Riz?
he asked he was like, you should come over here and be with a real man. I was like, I want to tie you up and I want to hit you until you bleed. He said we could do that. He's still a sim. He's still a sim.
No, he just lets women do crazy stuff to him. But he's aware of it now that women are crazy.
Oh, okay.
I want
At least he's
to.
aware.
Okay.
Why do I feel like Jazmen and I are mom
I
and dad?
have
here?
no
This is
idea.
insane.
I have no idea what this like. I don't know what's going on, but okay.
This is the most
Like, why do
interesting transition ever.
I mean, for sure. I feel like we're the most moderate people on this fucking.
I'm gonna go back to law, guys. This is too weird.
I dated a Swedish girl, 30 years younger than me. She looked like Scarlett Johansson had a love child with Jessica Biel. She taught me a word in Swedish. The word is gift. Gift, depending on the context you use it, can either mean poison or marriage. I think the Swedes. Look it up. Gift. Jag älskar säga gift.
To bring it back to the topic, let me reiterate that I like monogamy. I think is the best choice. I think it's a tried and true method. I think
Then
that
why
we
aren't you
can see
doing
how
it?
it works. We are basically like we have like hall passes, but
Your
we live
husband
our
just had
day-to-day.
sex with another woman. You are not monogamous.
Okay, no, of course not. But I'm talking about actionably in day to day. Our life is very different than someone who would like classically have like an open relationship or even Like a
Is it?
yes,
I
maybe
mean-
one day a year. One day a year, someone spends the night somewhere else. Yes, we actually
Bro, you
live
got
pretty
married a
monogamous
month ago
relationship.
and he had sex with a woman a week ago. Another
First of all,
woman.
we got married. We got married before that. We had our wedding a month ago. Thank you. It was the most beautiful wedding ever. I really loved it.
Congratulations, Lav.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You didn't invite us. We would
Yeah,
have
sorry.
come.
Sorry, but we've been together for 5 years. It's not like this is like a new thing. So
By the way,
Wait, was he
I-
sleeping with other women while you were
in
boyfriend and
November, in
girlfriend?
case anyone's interested.
Yeah. So
Lav,
wait.
let me ask you a question. Could he just bring another woman home and you'd be fine with that?
not in my home, no.
I mean, you don't
Why
like
not?
women?
Why
That's
not?
what I'm just curious. I'm just curious. You don't like women at all?
Well, I don't want to share my home with someone.
Okay,
Well,
you guys get a hotel room somewhere else.
Sister wife. What happened to the sister wife thing?
Well, I'd be open to that potentially. I'm not in
Yeah,
not
but
in like a
that's-
in any immediate sense.
But that's what sister wife would be.
Sure, yeah. Like I think if he met the right girl and I met her and I really liked her and she like helped with the housework and we could raise our
This
babies
is
together,
incredible.
maybe.
Okay.
Lav,
Okay.
give me your husband's phone number. We'll work something out.
I don't think in a million years he would be interested.
So
Well, you
Yeah,
never know until
so-
you try.
So I
Let
think
me
Grace
just- let
has
me ask
some.
a
Yeah,
question.
I think Grace has some interesting ideas with marriage. So for one thing, she's criticizing another woman's marriage that's semi-open.
It's not
And
marriage.
she's claiming she's defiling the sanctity of marriage. Like you said, you would stay married to a guy who raped your own child.
Yes.
It's just
It's
like
not about
it's
staying
kind
married
of
or not staying married. A marriage
Right.
is a lifelong bond that you both commit to. It either happens or
According
it
to
doesn't. You
whom?
can't break that
well,
lifelong
you're not
vow.
committing.
Otherwise,
Well,
it's not
wait.
a lifelong.
Grace,
Well,
and
wait,
Nobody-
you're not.
Everybody
So,
gets married and
Grace-
says
According
"till
to
death do
whom?
us part." Till death
It's
do.
a-
If
That's
you
not
don't say
part
that in
of
your
every
marriage vows, then
marriage
you didn't
vow.
get married.
Wait
So,
a minute.
Grace,
Stop.
you
Pause.
said-
That's not part of every marriage vow. It's not part of secular
Well, then
marriage
that's not a
vows.
marriage.
So
No,
first of all,
okay,
Grace,
because I
you
don't believe
said-
in baby Jesus and Virgin Mary, I can't get married. Secular people don't say it. You will not go to any Jewish wedding, Reformed, Conservative, Orthodox, Ultra Orthodox, where they use "till death do us part." That's a Catholic.
No, it's not a religious thing. I'm saying, what do you define a marriage as? Two people vowing to be loyal to each other until they
you're
die.
not-
That's
Vows
Grace, that's
don't-
not even
not
what a
allowed.
marriage is in the name
Okay,
of the
then
law.
you. I'm not saying
You can be married to someone just legally and never have sex or talk to each other
Correct.
ever.
But I'm not talking about the legal definition. I'm saying your personal definition.
Legally-
There
We got
is.
legally married. That is why we had a
Yeah.
reception, and that is what we got married.
Okay,
George
so what
Bernard Shaw
what is your
defined it.
definition of marriage? What is your definition of marriage?
The
then?
death of hope.
But yeah, apparently.
Oh my God.
Yeah, apparently
Oh my
when
God.
you kill your partner's
George-
life
George
and you
Bernard
force him
Shaw.
George
George
him to
Bernard
not experience
Shaw.
anything
The
else.
death
So
of
Grace, when you say
Wait,
till
somebody
death
give
do
me
us
an
part-
alternate definition of marriage. Give me an alternate definition
The
of
death
marriage.
of
So-
hope, and someone
wait,
else said
so-
converting love into a bored dog.
when
Maybe
when
yours.
Grace says "from death do us part," but you're admitting you would break up with a guy who's an abusive drug addict, and you would just stay away from him. That's not really death to us part. Like, what do you think that vow means?
It means I am exclusively with him till death. I
Well,
cannot
you're
have
not.
sex with another man. I cannot get married to
Well,
another
you're
man.
not. You're not.
I
with
may not
him.
live with him.
other
I may
people
not
in
live
this.
with him, but I am committed to him until death.
So
Well,
if you
Grace-
got married next year at the age of 22, this guy ended up becoming an alcoholic drug addict who wants to rape kids. You would technically break up with him, stay married, never have sex with another man in your entire life, and stay childless and die alone. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what it means to be married. It's an exclusive permanent
Okay,
bond
well,
until death.
why
I'll
the
sign up.
why would
Sounds
any
lovely.
woman want to
Yeah.
be interested in getting married?
We have a lawyer.
Because it's
in
an
the
exclusive permanent bond until death.
Well,
He's
Your
right
it's
there.
husband won't
not.
have
It's
sex
not
with
a
other
permanent
women.
What's in
bond.
it
You
for the
just
woman?
admitted you would break up with a person and stay
I-
alone
I-
for the rest of your life.
I wouldn't have sex with or get married to anybody else, but he
Yeah,
would be
but you're not
failing
with
me.
them. So why would
What is-
any
not
woman want to get
physically, not
married?
physically.
Why
Look,
would
look,
any woman
I'll use-
want to get married if they could get married at at an age like 21?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you
Their
why. I'll tell you.
relationship
I'll answer your question.
fails, and then
I'll
they could
answer your
never
question.
have children, and they'll die alone.
I will answer your question. question. Because with extremely high risk comes extremely high reward. Okay? Yes, if you get married to somebody and they get in a car accident the day after your marriage and they are handicapped for the rest of their life, you better fucking take care of them for the rest of their lives
You'd
because
never
you
do
got
that.
fucking married to
You're
them.
full of shit.
No,
You'd never
I
do
would.
that. No,
I would.
you're
Because
selfish.
that's what it means
You're
to be
selfish
married.
child.
That's
No,
what it
look,
means
you're
to be
selfish
married.
child.
Wait, if that's what it means to be
you're-
married, then
no,
I am still
no,
married.
no.
I'm
This is
confused
pure
on,
cope.
on
You're
how
And then you
selfish
would never
child.
have sex with another
Look,
man, and you would never
look,
get married to another
no,
Okay,
man.
so that's
no.
the stipulation.
Look,
If it's
you're-
not a permanent commitment, it's
no,
meaningless.
look, you're literally a
Counselor
child. You're
Jafar,
21.
do you
You're
join me in
telling
my
me
motion
you
to
would
strike this
wait.
conversation?
I'm
You're-
not a child.
Look, you
I'm not
literally are a
child.
child, okay?
No, I'm
You've
not
acted
literally
like
a child.
this
No, I'm
entire
not literally
time.
a child.
No, you
I'm not
literally
literally
are.
a child.
You have the mental
You fucking
development of a fucking
DGG
11-year-old.
Fs.
So look,
No, I
you're-
don't. No, I don't.
if
I'm the
you're
only person who has the
telling me-
normal mentality
yeah,
of
great.
towards
Okay,
marriage.
so this is
If
why
it's
you
not
have
a
to keep
permanently
screaming and yelling
committed,
and talking
exclusive
over people.
Normal, and that
what
you
Right,
is
would
it?
be
so
with
you
a
know
gay
what? Adults with
pedophile.
proper social
We
development
mute
let other
Grace.
people finish talking. So you're
Yeah.
telling me if you got married tomorrow and your husband became a like homeless drug addict child rapist, you would stay single for the rest of your life, never have children, die
I
alone.
wouldn't be single.
That
I'd
is
be
a
married.
fucking lie.
Look,
You
look,
are
look, look,
full
look,
of
look,
shit,
listen,
and that is
listen,
pure
listen.
coke.
I don't know what I would do. Okay, hypotheticals are hard to. Maybe I would fail.
Right,
Maybe I would sin.
Well, I
maybe,
know what you do.
Maybe
You
I would.
divorce the guy
But
and marry somebody else.
Ideally, okay, I'm not saying I'm a perfect person, but ideally, the entire point of marriage is that it's a permanent, exclusive
Yeah,
bond.
well, guess what?
If
If
it's
you're
not
going
that,
to,
then it's meaningless.
if you're going to make these
people
moral
make
claims and
mistakes.
proselytize to us,
but people make
right?
mistakes.
Oh, right. This is the way.
Wait, I thought we weren't cutting
If-
people off. I thought we weren't cutting
Right,
people off. So
this
let me
is the
finish
way the
my
world should
sentence.
work.
Let me finish
If
my
you do
sentence,
this,
then you
you're
can finish
immoral.
yours.
Oh, nobody's perfect. Right. Okay.
No. What I'm saying is
Mr. McNulty,
marriage is
shut
a concept. Marriage is a concept that only makes sense if it's a permanent exclusive bond for life. That doesn't mean people don't fuck up. That doesn't mean people don't make mistakes. All of that. That doesn't mean that.
So
It
your
just
moral
means that
values are
you
worthless
can't.
because you don't have to follow them.
No, that's not true. I'm just saying you
You
can't
just
tell
said
me
you
that a
wouldn't
marriage is
follow your own
anything
moral
else than
values
that.
if they were
I didn't
inconvenient
say that.
enough
I
for
didn't
you.
say that.
You
I just
literally
said
just said
I'm
that.
not going to pretend that I'm a perfect person who did the perfect thing. I don't know what I would do. Okay, I don't know. That's like saying like,
well,
if
guess
a
what? If you
child
don't know,
was
I
drowning,
know.
would you
You're
go in and
lying.
save them? I don't know. I'd hope I would, but people fuck up. I'm not saying that I'm a
Well,
perfect
look, you're
person.
lying. You're just lying. The idea that you would tell us that at 21 you would get married, your husband would turn out to be a drug-addicted child rapist, and you would stay married to this person and stay single for the rest of your life, never have children, never have any romantic sexual relationship with any other man in your entire life, and die alone. You are fucking lying.
Well, hang on
So
a second.
when you
You're
tell us,
introducing
oh, the
child
sanctity of
stuff
marriage,
into it.
we have to abide by these moral principles. If you're not, it's not a real marriage. And then you're lying to us, and then finally
she's
admitting,
deluded.
You're giving a hypothetical. It couldn't.
She could be deluded.
If
She could be deluded.
if somebody I thought I was getting married to has actually had a sexual attraction towards children, then that's not a marriage. He lied to me. You have to be honest with somebody who you're getting married to. If he had a sexual attraction to children that he didn't tell me about,
boring
then we
to
didn't
me.
get married. He lied
Wait,
to me.
what if he?
can't
Let me
lie.
ask you a hypothetical. What if he kills your dad after marriage?
If he kills my father after I get married to him, well,
Yeah,
then he'll
you
go
still-
to jail for the rest of his life.
Well, let's say he
But he,
pulls.
but he broke covenant by doing that.
Let's say he
Alex,
doesn't.
What do you mean?
Alex,
Broke what covenant?
this
I mean,
has
he
no
sinned.
interest in me.
He
I'm
sinned.
going to bow
No,
out.
he broke a commandment.
This is
Did you-
Grace getting all the attention talking about something about which I have no dog in the fight. So unless we're going to change the topic,
Well, you can redirect if you want. Bring it back to like relationships or monogamy.
I just think I'm not married. I've never wanted to get married. The example I saw, God bless my parents. They were great parents, but it was a horrible, horrible, emotionally, not physically, but emotionally violent relationship. I never got married because I've yet to see, and all my siblings and all my nieces and nephews, I've yet to see. I mean, there may be one good. I'd strike that. My niece has a really good one, but other than that, I've never seen an example of a good one where the people actually listen to each other, care for each other, love each other. I've only seen disasters. So I admit, from my own trauma, I've avoided it. I can't speak intelligently on this topic except to say that marriage is not just a set of religious vows. It's also a contract with the state, whether we like it or not. It's a business contract you make with the state. To that extent, you have to be aware that that's what you're entering into. If we lived in a world where the state, God forbid, and the church were married together, then yeah, Grace would have a point saying this is what it is about. It is
I'm not
about
making a religious argument.
Wait, you've never
Okay,
seen
well,
a successful
to-
marriage?
Well,
Ross,
to add to what
I've seen
so-
one or two good ones, and that's it.
so
Wait,
Wait,
to
but
add to
Ross,
what
do you
Ross is
disagree
saying,
with my definition of marriage as
Yes.
it stands?
Yes,
everyone disagrees
Well,
with
how
your
do you
definition
disagree
of
with it?
marriage.
What do you
You're
disagree
just
with?
creating some weird
because this whole
arbitrary.
till death do you part thing is
Mhm.
a poetic vow based on a religious belief that I don't share.
What's the
Well,
religious
look,
belief?
Well, till death do you part, that's a Catholic thing, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it may be in Catholic marriage vows, but it's not a particularly religious thing. It just is human nature. Like, it's exclusive till death.
So
It's
do you think when you
that's-
get a marriage certificate, they ask if you guys are only going to fuck each other for the rest of your life? I'm like confused on where you're getting your information.
Right.
I'm not making a religious argument. I'm just saying marriage.
No, you are,
is-
because in the state, in
defined.
the eyes of the law, in every single state in the country, at least this one, they do not care whether or not you fuck other people. They will give you a marriage certificate based on the fact that both of you want one.
Correct. And you're of age.
Yes, but
Yes.
the state
And even sometimes
understands
not.
it. The state understands it to be an exclusive permanent
No,
bond
they
between
don't.
two
No, they
people.
do not.
No, they don't.
What do
they
they
don't.
understand it to be?
Thank
What do you
goodness.
think?
It's
What do you
a,
think they
it's a
think it is?
contract. It's a contract between two people.
Well,
We
look,
have a
look.
lawyer
What
here.
What is the
All
what
of
are
the
what are
lawyers
what are the what are the
jumped in.
obligations of the
on
contract?
They don't
Contract.
make it so your obligations are to each other and they're figurative.
Meeting of
They are not
minds,
held to. They're not.
consideration.
So
They're
it's
not. You're not
meaningless?
binded.
So a marriage
Essentially.
is meaningless?
So what I think marriage is,
Okay.
especially in a situation like in America, especially with the nuclear family, I think it's insurance for a woman to raise children and then get compensation if something happens to the husband or the husband decides to cheat on her or leave her or whatever, and she has left the workforce because of raising his children. Her best option is probably to get married.
Let's let Jazmen also speak on this. We haven't heard from her in like about 45 minutes.
Just say anything. Speak.
Sorry, I wasn't paying too much attention, but yeah, marriage.
Jasmine and I were texting. It's my fault.
It's just marriage is just a contract, and in the United States, I do think that it has some like tax benefits, some health benefits, those types of benefits. So I think the government incentivizes people to enter this contract, but I don't think that, at least legally in the secular world, that has any implications on what that needs to look like between the two people that are involved.
Well, you know, I
That's
agree
not what
with
a contract
Ross.
is. A
Well,
contract
I
has
agree with
obligations.
Ross.
No, that's what a
Wait, wait.
contract
The two
and like you
parties
said,
of
I'm
the
a lawyer.
contract.
But-
Acceptance, consideration. That's what a contract is. Sorry.
Right.
So I agree
No,
with
like a
Ross.
contract with a contractor says like you're going to do this by this time, right? It's like it's an
Okay.
agreement.
Okay, but it's a contract
Nobody
to
cares.
yes,
So what
yes,
is
not
the
the
marriage?
state.
So what
So
does
if
the
two
marriage
people have different
contract
values-
say? What does the
Counselor,
marriage
educate
contract
everyone on
say?
contract
If two
law,
people
please.
have different values than you do, Grace, or the state does, so the state is not involved in marriage whatsoever. So you are making a promise to your partner only. So if you
Oh,
don't
look,
care
what
about
Grace
things
is
like
saying
monogamy,
is just stupid. Look, what Grace is saying is just stupid. We're all adults. We all realize not every relationship is going to last forever. Ross is really smart to not get married because it's really nothing but a liability for a man.
Right.
So like look, and then here's Grace criticizing all of us. Oh, you don't respect the sanctity of marriage. She's giving us this weird relationship standard that she
criticizing
even
it.
admits she can't even abide by. She'd cut and leave a guy who's
I
a
didn't say
drug
I
addict,
by it. You're
broke,
just lying. You're
like
you're
rapes
lying.
a kid. She can't
You're
even
lying.
abide by her own relationship standards. So
You're
like
lying. You're
what the
lying.
fuck
I
is the
didn't say
point of
that.
even
I
talking
didn't
about
say
any of
that.
this bullshit
not-
if you can't even abide by your own
you doing?
relationship standards?
I'm not criticizing any of you. Can you pause that?
Oh, you're not criticizing any of you. Oh,
How's
you're a
it
worthless whore. You're letting your husband fuck other dudes? Oh,
Who's
okay.
that?
Someone who's a little older is going to rip you a new one, you little prick. You ready?
Hey,
you ready?
hey.
You ready?
Respect your
You ready?
elders.
And Ross, it's not our fault that you're a lonely loser on the internet who doesn't get any attention, doesn't have any kids, doesn't have anyone to be a partner with him as he's dying. That's not my fault.
Well, I'm not dying. Number
Stop
one,
screaming. Wait, hang on.
I'm not dying,
on.
sir.
Wait,
And you
let's
should
stop
respect
screaming
your
into the
elders.
Stop screaming
Hey, bro, it
into
was
the mic.
better. It was better when you were hitting on a lab on the chat. I
no,
think
it
you should
wasn't.
probably go back
No,
to
it
your-
wasn't better actually.
Second of all, isn't this what got your dad arrested the last time? Like you guys being on
Yeah,
like,
it's allowed to be within 50 feet of you.
why would you take that risk?
No, that whole thing was dropped.
Okay.
Who was that brute? Looked
He's
like
based.
Bigfoot.
He's based. That's my base dad teaching you F slurs, just telling you to shape up.
Hang on a minute.
Stop
Your
being
dad needs
ageist.
to
I'm not a
respect-
child because I'm
Your
20.
dad needs to respect his elders, so you go tell him that. Tell your dad to
Well, you're
respect
not
his
worthy
elders.
of respect. You're a lonely loser who never got married.
Oh, I'm a lonely loser. Okay, I'm very, very happy that I'm not.
I think you
married.
seem happy with your geriatric cat.
You
I
were
love my
complaining earlier that you weren't getting enough attention on the panel.
I'm
supposed to
that's
respect
not what
that?
I said. I said you are a troll and you're somehow gathering all the attention to you. I got a text from
I'm not a
someone saying,
troll.
ignore
Listen, be
Jazz.
careful who you call lonely.
Oh,
Be
wow,
careful.
Oh,
who you
that is
fucking
a
call
big
lonely.
meaty
In
guy.
any case,
Oh my
I'm
God,
bowing
this is
out
amazing,
because this
Kitty.
topic does not
He's
interest
22
That's a boy.
pounds.
Bye.
Yeah,
Oh
it is a
my
big boy.
God.
Bye.
He's
Speed
22 pounds.
seduction AI and show me that cat. You've got a void. How many voids do you have?
I have 2.
Love voids. I've got torties. Respect your elders, Mr. Thorp.
You're
Respect
leaving
your
all of
elders.
us soon enough, okay? I mean,
Respect
no one
your
wants
elders.
to become you. You are
Respect your
cautionary
elders.
tale, brother.
Respect your
Cautionary
elders.
tale.
Not screaming
Respect
to the
your
mic.
And
elders.
look at you
Respect your
on here.
elders.
Oh, this
Audio.
21-year-old
Ev-
girl.
everyone wants to be
attention.
Ben
Let me
Thorpe.
shame her and
Can we not scream into the
granddad
mic?
her. Get a life, dude. Now, Lav, I got something I got to work out with you. I'm sorry I
Respect
revealed
your
in a private
elders.
conversation what happened
Oh,
between you and your husband. You know,
okay.
I
Respect
feel
your
for you,
elders,
but now that I
sir.
know you're
Good
open, I'd like
night.
to invite you out here. I'm in the Northeast.
I'm not
See ya.
interested.
I think you should explore things.
I'm not interested.
Okay, okay, hang on. All right, I'm not gonna get like I don't want to redirect this into
Come on,
like
I'm
Ben
out in the
trying to get
wild
laid.
in
So.
Maine.
Wait,
when
hang
you
on,
go
Grace,
canoeing,
take
kayaking.
the mic back.
Whatever.
Take the
So
mic
you
back.
didn't get married. I mean, you tried.
There we go. Okay. Jesus Christ. All right, I can turn the volume back to like normal settings. I have to
Yeah,
put
that's
it like
that's gonna win over Lav.
Greens.
That was the winner.
Wrong.
Rate his Riz.
Negative 25. All right. I don't know if I think we've close to beat this
Oh
horse
my
yet.
God, so orange.
That's an interesting cat. Aren't those
I
expensive?
rescued all of them. No. It's an orange tabby. I rescued all of them. I haven't paid for any of them. They were all abandoned.
Nice. Always adopt, don't shop. Don't support
Exactly.
animal exploitation.
Ross left.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like
Grandpa
we
had to
kind
go
of
to
beat this
bed.
to death. Does anyone have anything they want to add before I go into super chats?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Michael
what-
should feed his
what-
cats vegan. If we're going to take care, if we're going to take care of animals and we're going to have them become family members, we should respect all animals and not pay for animal exploitation of any kind. If you would take care of your cat, it doesn't make sense to kill and torture and murder other animals to feed to one animal. So feed your cats vegan. My two
my
cats are
only
vegan and they're
response
nice
is-
and big and strong and healthy.
My only response is, according to natural selection, actually, you have to feed your cats vitamin B, which is an animal extract. If you go
You can
look
leave
through
your
your
cats
food, I
alone.
Vitamin
guarantee
D is not so. Vitamin D
Vitamin
comes
B,
from
B,
plant.
B.
Sorry.
B.
All right, wait, hang on.
Vitamin
B12 is added to normal cat food.
Stop. I don't want to get into a vegan debate. This is just going to go way off track. Let me get through some of these super chats real quick. I'd argue it's like sales, where if clients can tell you're using a script, it goes south. But if you use same concept, it flows, it works. I agree with that. Bron, thank you for the super chat. PUA is sleazy because it takes rapid retention to get good. By the bull approaching 100 women is sleazy, but doesn't make PUA bad. Totally disagree with that. But if anyone wants to add to this, feel free. Nope. Okay. Talk if women. Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
No, I agree. I was just reading what he was saying.
Yeah, women should.
Like I
vote.
said before, it's inefficient. Yeah, women should vote. Yes, women should vote.
I think women should vote. Alphas have a hard time with polygamy because of mate guarding by their women. Women want a close relationship with them. Jealousy is huge role. Okay, we got just some quotes. Red pill is about making alpha. That's it. Only one has been made. Only one alpha has been. I don't even know what that means. Only one alpha has been made in the history
Does
of.
Rollo Tomasi think he's an alpha?
Didn't he get rolled by like a 20-year-old girl?
This is
Yeah,
this is not
Brittany
Rollo though.
mentioned
This is Carl. But yeah.
What 20-year-old girl are you talking about? No.
What Brittany Venti? Like, didn't
Brittany
she kind of expose him pretty hard?
She's so cute.
No, what happened? What happened was that's so adorable. You think that, dude? What happened was they put out false medical documents saying that Lauren Southern was pregnant, and he never posted them online. They kept daring him to do it, and he didn't do it.
Yeah, but he
Yeah,
talked
he-
about it.
That was
He
it.
said,
I don't
have
think he
proof
reposted
that
them.
Lauren
He was
Southern
talking
got
about it.
pregnant by Destiny.
Yeah, he
I
talked.
like Rolo, though.
He
He's a
talked about it.
likable guy.
So if somebody hits me up and says this is a rumor I heard, all he said was this is a rumor I heard. Your Honor, it's hearsay. It's not admissible. He just said that.
No,
But
he
never
said he had
showed.
proof. He said he had proof.
He said he had proof.
Right, but he never showed it online. If he had proof,
Okay,
Yeah,
then he
he
would
but
have showed it
said
online.
he said he had
that
proof.
Lauren Southern got him
Hold on,
pregnant.
let me check.
by
Oh wait, time out.
Destiny.
Let me check. Oh no, his YouTube's still there. You can take that
Yeah.
L with
Yeah.
you. Brittany Venti didn't do shit to him. So that's what happened. He didn't lose a single fucking follower. He didn't sell one less book. None of that shit happened, and he never posted those fake documents. Which, by the way, that's a misdemeanor in the state of Texas where they did it. He never posted those
No, they
documents
didn't.
online. She's the one who took the L, not him.
It's not a misdemeanor.
The point was
It was a
that
felony
he's a gossip, which
to
he
make
is. He's a gossip.
fake HIPAA documents. That's not a misdemeanor.
Yeah, no. It's only if
It's a
it's
felony.
it's only if it's to
Wasn't
commit a
Lauren
crime.
in on it? Wasn't Lauren in on it?
It wasn't. What?
I thought
It's
Lauren Southern-
Who cares?
it's only a
Who
crime if you
cares?
use fake documents
Oh,
to commit fraud.
But he got. But the reason why they care is because he got rolled.
Yeah, they exposed
fell for
him
a troll,
for
whatever, it doesn't
not
matter, it's
having
funny.
high enough standards for burden of proof.
Well, except that he didn't show it. He didn't never posted the
But
things
he
online.
believed it.
Rolo's
that's
a
the point.
gossip.
No,
He spreads gossip.
Time out,
That's the
time out.
point.
The point of them giving it to him in the first place was to get them to post it online. He didn't. You just got dunked on. Sorry.
I actually
No,
thought
he
he
said
did.
he had
Maybe I'd have to
proof.
look back
He
at
had
it.
proof.
Oh,
that Lauren
see,
Southern
let's go a
got
little
him
bit
pregnant
further.
by
Maybe he
Destiny.
did. No, he didn't because she took the L because he never fucking did anything. That's the point. If you
He
tell
may
me
not have posted them, but he said he
rumor,
had proof.
it doesn't matter. When you sit there and tell me a rumor and say, "Hey, I heard a rumor," then I can say I heard a rumor. That's it. That's all.
Well, that's not what he did.
Well, by
He
the way,
said he has proof, and he knows it happened. That's a bit of a different claim being made.
It doesn't matter.
The
People
reason,
get
the
trolled
reason,
on the internet.
the reason why I said that wasn't because of the document. It was because of something someone else closer to the situation told him that he also never talked about online.
Okay.
And by the way, yeah, that's it. So, yeah, they're already bored with it. I guess he didn't get rolled after all, huh?
I don't know. I don't really care.
All right.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
funny. You don't have to be.
Now he doesn't care.
just
That's
funny.
my
It doesn't
that's the best shit
matter.
ever.
Yeah,
There
it
we
was
go. That's
just kind of
Got
funny.
it. That's funny. Okay,
You
got
don't
it.
have to defend Rolo. Rolo's fine. We all like him. He's okay. He's just a little douchey.
I've never
that's
heard
all.
of this person in my life.
I thought it was just funny that he was kind of having this back and forth
You
argument
never
with
heard of
Brittany
Rolo
Venti.
Tomasi, the godfather
Never in
of
my
the
life.
red pill?
Never in my life.
OMG.
Lav, you have an open invitation. Anytime you want to come to Las Vegas, we will take you out anywhere you want on any nightclub and just come on Access Vegas. We would love to have you. Rolo and us.
I avoid nightclubs like the fucking plague, but thank you for the.
Okay, then we won't take you. We'll take you to a nightclub. We'll go eat sushi, and your husband's invited too. 100%.
What about my invite?
Okay.
Michael?
Okay, you great. You are absolutely invited, along with your dad. 100%.
Yes!
You guys are welcome to come.
Yeah.
That should be fun.
Jazmen always.
That should be a fun event. All right. Well, I think we can wrap up here. That was took many interesting turns. This debate panel. I think probably 6 people is a little bit too many. I think I should probably limit it to 4 in the future. But appreciate everyone coming on. Really quickly, if everyone wants to shut themselves off, feel free. Let's start with you, Vegan Gates. Tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube, Vegan Gains on YouTube. I also have an OnlyFans, so if you want to see me naked, if you're into that, and I'm also on Instagram, vegangains.real.
You have an OnlyFans? For real? You're not trolling?
Yep.
Interesting. All right, Grace.
I'm Grace Thorp. I stream on Thorp TV with my dad. We talk about everything. We do debate panels. We do IRL. We travel around in an RV. We have a lot of fun. Come on over. I'll be doing an after show too, maybe. So come on over.
All right, Jazmen.
If you want to watch me have sex with these big natural G cups, JazmenJafar.me. And my OnlyFans is just JAZMEN.
Vegan Gains and Jazmen would be the weirdest and funniest like OnlyFans collab.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be that weird.
Incorporated.
It'd be
I'd view it.
Jasmine, you can't. Can you seriously imagine having sex with this guy?
I don't know him. I don't
No,
know.
but I mean, just from what you've seen on the panel. I mean,
I never imagine having sex with anyone from seeing them on a panel. So.
Oh, I imagine.
Oh,
every
I
time you see a
do.
guy.
I'm imagining
it.
having a big ol' orgy right now.
Every time I see a guy, I imagine.
Oh my gosh. Baby, I'm in trouble.
All right, Michael, you want to shout out your channel?
My channel, you can go to Michael Sartain on YouTube. I do a podcast on evolutionary psychology. I also do a panel show called Access Vegas. You guys are welcome to check it out. And I also have a performance coaching program where we help men with networking, communication, leadership, and dating. It's called MOAmentoring.com. You guys are welcome to check that out if you want.
Lav?
I'm femoid on Twitter. I tweet. I don't really do anything anymore. I'm sort of living my my wife lifestyle, going back to school, so I'm not really doing anything like crazy. So you don't have to follow me if you don't want to, but that's where I am.
All right.
Twitter.
All right. Anyway, fun panel. Thanks everyone for coming in. We had a pretty good turnout. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed all the plot twists. Appreciate you all. Have a good night, guys. Take it easy.
Good night.
Take care.
Take it easy.